In this third video, we will be talking about your quotes and your last paragraph and headline. So let's take a look at some quotes. Quotes must relate to what you're reporting on. Also, they must be from a person directly involved. Finally, be sure to include who they are and how they are involved. Let's take a look at the quotes from the article about the church ladies and the Thanksgiving meals. If you notice there at the very bottom of the first column, it starts out, "It's not really hard." This is the first quote. "It's not really hard work," said Gretchen Roach, who has been volunteering since the beginning. "It's about the community, and we like to talk as we go," she said. So, the person who says this is Gretchen Roach. The quote, what she actually says is, "It's not really hard work. It's about the community, and we like to talk as we go." And how is she involved? She's been volunteering since the beginning. That all is stated in that one quote paragraph. You will have one paragraph per quote. Okay? You don't, if it's the same person still talking, then you can keep it in the same paragraph. If it's a new person, it needs to be a new paragraph. Okay? All right. Let's take Gretchen's quote off here and look at another one. All right. This one reads, "This year, Gavin told us that instead of birthday presents for himself, he wanted to donate his gifts to the children in the burned out village of Paradise, California." If we look at the paragraph just before that, it does tell us who is saying this. Denny said it's a tradition in his household to sort through the toys of his boys, Gavin, 4-year-old Grayson, and 2-year-old Axton. The broken toys are discarded, but other unused toys are donated to charities. So we can see that Denny is telling something here. Then it jumps into a quote of his. "This year, Gavin told us that instead of birthday presents for himself, he wanted to donate his gifts to the children in the burned out village of Paradise, California." So the person is Denny. The quote is, "This year Gavin told us that instead of birthday presents for himself, he wanted to donate his gifts to the children in the burned out village of Paradise, California." And how is he involved? He's Gavin's father. All right, let's take a look at another one. This one also has to do with the same article. It says, "When we heard about what Gavin wanted to do, we wanted to help," Walter said. Who is the person? Mr. Walter. His quote, "When we heard about what Gavin wanted to do, we wanted to help." And how is he involved? If you remember from from the photo, Mr. Walter is Gavin's principal who is helping, who has been supporting him all the way. All right, let's take a look at another one here. This is also from the same article about Gavin taking collections. It says, "It is inspiring to see such selfless service in one so young," said Captain Jonathan Gulzo, commander of the recruiting company in Clarion. "Our future soldiers could learn from this young man." Here, his quote is broken into two with some information about him in the middle. So who is the person? Captain John Gulzo. What is his quote? What did he actually say? He actually said, "It is inspiring to see such selfless service," it should say, "in one so young, and our future soldiers could learn from this young man." So those are the things that Captain said. And how is he involved? He is the commander of the recruiting company who is helping, that should say Gavin, collect items. Sorry for the typos on this one. So we can see that these quotes are following the pattern of who the person is, what the quote is that they actually said, and how they're involved. This one goes with the dog article. It says, Misha Djurek, the ballet's artistic director and Archie's owner, says Archie is settling down to a life of luxury and long naps on pillows. So who is the person? Misha Djurek. And his quote is, settling down to a life of luxury and long naps on pillows. And how is Mr. Djurek involved? He is the artistic director and Archie's owner. So it gives us sort of two pieces of information there about the person that they're quoting. So you will need to pull two quotes from either your movie scene or from what you're reporting on. If you need to make up quotes, that will be fine. Just make sure that the quotes sound very genuine to the article that you're writing. So if you're writing something that goes with another topic or another subject, make sure that you are working on making them sound very genuine to the article. Okay, so you will write two people, okay? Whoops. You see the number 1's there and the number 2's there. So number 1 is the first person, number 1 under quote is what they said, and number 1 under how they're involved is how that first person is involved. And number 2 is a second person that you're going to quote and how they're involved. So you'll have two paragraphs on the right side of this paper because two different people means two different paragraphs. Make sure that you don't just say said so-and-so. Make sure you give me a little bit of how they're involved. Said so-and-so who helped to carry the water bottles out of the gym. Okay, so whatever this is about, you have to give me just a little bit more information about that person to conclude that paragraph or in the middle of the paragraph, like some of them were. So our assignment number 5 will be to complete your quotes page. This is the last assignment before we can put it all together. So the last paragraph and headline. It's time to sum it up with a few interesting facts. These facts are not the most important, but provide the reader with just a bit more information. So, if we look at this, Anna Asul, another volunteer since the first year, was also hard at it Wednesday, cutting up bread for the stuffing, even with hands affected by arthritis. So, the first interesting fact was Anna Asul was another volunteer since the first year. So she has been there just as long as the other lady, the Gretchen Roach lady that we had heard from earlier in the article. The other interesting fact was that this lady was cutting up bread with hands affected by arthritis. Okay, just sort of an interesting fact that she may have some pain while doing this, but she thinks that it's a worthwhile cause, so she's suffering and toughing through it. So kind of an interesting fact, but not necessarily vitally important to the rest of the article. If we take a look at the headline for this article, it says OC, which means Oil City, because this is comes out of the Oil City Derrick paper, so they use OC as an abbreviation. OC Lutheran Church workers prepare for delivery of 300 meals. So this headline is fairly short. It's actually a little bit longer headline than some others, but it's still catchy. It's not real wordy and has what is absolutely needed. Most of the time, the shorter the better for headlines, but you don't want it to be too short that people can't gather what is happening. So this one is long enough that people can kind of gather what these church ladies are doing. So let's take a look at another example. In this example, it says monetary donations may be made through bridge builders in Oil City. Denny said that organization will find sister organizations in California to distribute the funds. The donation will be shipped on December 12th to guarantee delivery in time for Christmas. Denny said Commodore Homes in Clarion has offered to ship the collected items. So, interesting fact one is that monetary donations may be made through bridge builders in Oil City. Another interesting fact is the donations will be shipped on December 12th to guarantee delivery in time for Christmas. And a third interesting fact here was that Commodore Homes in Clarion has offered to ship the collected items. So these two paragraphs here at the end give the reader some information about how they could get involved, when they need to be getting their donations turned in if they plan to get involved. So not the most important information about the what is happening, but some extra information that the reader might want to know. And we did already take a look at this headline once, but it is Birthday Wish. Here you can see it is very short, very catchy, and it has a headline that says Clarion Boy comes up with idea to take up collection. So it gives us a little bit more information about his birthday wish. Okay. One more article I want to give you the example of, the dog article. And here we read, the ballet is holding auditions for the next Nutcracker dog. Auditions will take place at the Festival Ballet Providence Studios on Hope Street in Providence on December 2nd. The ballet says it's looking for a pup with an elegant prance, regal coat of fur, and charming smile. So the interesting fact is that the ballet is holding auditions at the Festival Ballet Providence Studio on December 2nd. If the reader has a dog that they think might be good for this, that piece of information would be good for them. Finally, the second interesting fact is that they're looking for a pup with an elegant prance, regal coat of fur, and charming smile. Not sure if I have ever really seen a dog smile, but apparently there are some, and these are some of the things that they are looking for in a dog. So again, not the most important facts that are needed for this article, but just some extra information for the reader at the end there. If we look at the headline, it says 19-year-old Yorkshire Terrier retires from the Nutcracker. This gives us just enough information about what the article is about, that it's a Yorkshire Terrier, that he's retiring, and how old he is. So again, we want to keep our newspaper headlines short and catchy, and just put as much in there as is absolutely necessary. So your assignment number 6, before putting it all together on the template that will be attached to our classroom page, your assignment number 6 is to think up or better yet, research 2 interesting facts to conclude your article. Then on the right, write your last paragraph or 2. At the bottom, write your headline. Okay, so this paper you're going to write your last paragraph with a couple interesting facts in it, and you're going to come up with your headline now that you have your full article written. Once you put all of these papers together, you will have your complete article. You will have your lead paragraph because you wrote it from your 5 W's. You will have your how and why paragraphs that you wrote on your how and why paper. You will have your quote paragraphs that you wrote on your quotes papers, and you will have your last paragraph and your headline that you wrote here. You will also have your photo and your photo caption that you did on that. So all of your parts of your newspaper are completed at this point. The last and final step for this assignment would be to put it on the template. So you can find that template attached in our Schoology classroom.